Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to my little red house. I hope you're all having a good day. It is very rainy here today, and it's going to be for the next few days. Yeah, but it's not snowing, it's not cold, so that's wonderful. So I'm back on my kick with the Tightwad book, and kind of in between a spot where I've been junking the past several weekends, need a break from that. And garage sale season is kind of going to be starting soon, so I'm not there yet. So thought I would just pull out my handy dandy Tightwad book again and just kind of touch base on a few things. No, my nails are not done today, but life will go on. And anyway, so this is the book, Amy Decision. This is the compilation of all three of her books. And what her books are basically her newsletters. This is how she began. She started a newsletter, and I actually got one in the mail back in the early 90s, and the husband, Jim, had wrote me a note in there. But you sent her $1, and she would send you a copy of the newsletter. And that's, you got to remember, back in the early 90s, we didn't have all the internet where we just pop on, order something from Amazon. We actually had to mail a check or a money order. So anyway, just wanted to kind of go through the book, show you what it looks like on the inside. She was a graphic designer, so you see lots of pictures. There are stories, there are recipes, everything you could possibly imagine. Talking about debt, talking about groceries, clothing for your children, especially your teenage kids that have to have the best of everything. And again, this was in the 90s before, we had stores that sold jeans that were $268 a pair. But this is just such a fascinating book. Yes, I can kind of say it's back in the old days, prior to, Amazon, the internet, everything you want, gosh, Amazon could deliver to your house in 2 hours. We had to wait for things in the mail, but yes, you can even take toilet paper and pull it apart. I can't say I've ever done that, and I'm probably not going to do that, but very useful things still that can apply to today's mindset. And I was listening to Dave Ramsey this morning. He called in. He's actually an accountant. They make $190,000 a year. That is their household income, and they live paycheck to paycheck. And he said, yes, I should know better, but it's life. We're lifing. We're adulting. We're living life. Back, we always say, how did our grandparents do it or whatever, but even when I was growing up, we didn't have all these superstores. We didn't have access to things. We didn't even have the amount of products that they have out today. So, we're too tempted. We feel we have to have these things to maintain our house or to look a certain way or whatever. But anyway, his biggest thing was they spend almost $3,000 a month for their family of 5 in food. So they go to the grocery store, but they eat out. He said they eat out all the time, and they're not even mindful of how much they're spending on a meal. So, $3,000. You imagine if you had $3,000 a month, what would you do with it? Think about that. What would you do with an extra, because you got to say, they took $1,000 a month for food, which is still a lot to me, but, $2,000. So if you had an extra $2,000 a month, you could plan a trip. You could save up for a new car. You could travel, buy some, fancy new duds, new purse that you wanted, whatever. But instead, it's in the trash or in your belly, which if it's constantly eating out, it's not healthy for you. Lots of salt, lots of calories, and that's a whole nother ball game. But so I was just wanted to share that. Also, I had gotten into a really bad habit of going to Dunkin' Donuts every day on my lunch break. Yes, see, I'm bad at those things too. But anyway, so I got a medium unsweet iced tea and one plain cake donut. And each day it was $4.68. So you times that, times 5, and then times 30. and I was spending almost $100 a month just at Dunkin' Donuts. It's crazy. So I have found Edamons makes a entire box of just plain donuts. So I bagged each one individually, and I froze them, and then I'll like pull out a few, put them in the refrigerator, and let them thaw. And so I only go to Dunkin's every other day and get my iced tea, but I tote my little packaged donut from my own freezer with me. And so now I only spend about $32 a month just on my iced tea, because on the alternating days I make tea at home, hot tea. Sometimes I just need a break and not ready to give it up completely yet, I guess. But I save about $70 a month doing that. So just a little tidbit. And back to what we were talking about the other day about the groceries and buying things on sale. I eat peanut butter every day. So does my husband. Not because we have to, but I have every day of my life since I was a little girl. My mom was packing it into my lunchbox, and I don't know, I like it. I know nowadays, it's probably got more sugar in it than what we had growing up, but I don't know that for certain. But anyway, so Kroger's, our local big chain grocery store, has it. If you buy 5, you can get it for $1.99 each. So I will get 5 jars, and I know my mom is going to Zanesville at some point, and I'll have her get me another 5 jars, because I think you can only do it on one of those little shopper cards, you know what I mean, the little, you put in your PIN or phone number or swipe the card or whatever, so you can get discounts. So then I'll get another 5, so then I'll have 10 jars of peanut butter, and I won't have to buy it for quite some time. But that's kind of what I was talking about the other day in regards to buying what's on sale. And I know that I use peanut butter. I use it every single day of my life. I have it for breakfast. I have it for lunch. I change it up, like on crackers or toast or whatever, or apples. So that is something that I won't have to put on my grocery list for quite some time. And last week, I think I may have shared, I don't know, but my husband's cereal that he eats was on the $1.99 special, so he bought 5 boxes of cereal. Cereal is very expensive. He won't have to buy it for a while, and then today on Target, I found if I bought 2 bottles of a specific detergent, I got 1 bottle free, like a large bottle. And I know I'm going to use detergent, so I got a bottle for free. Did I have to buy 2 at one time? I did to get the deal, but it is something I'm going to use. I do laundry every week, just like everybody else. So I wasn't wasting the money, but I will, get my free bottle out of it. So that's, I thought that was a really good deal. And the price wasn't raised in order to compensate for that free bottle. It was still the regular price. So that's the kind of deal that you should probably look for. But anyway, that is my little tidbits for today. Again, I hope you can find this book. I know a lot of the things, are in it that are outdated, but it kind of, brings you back to simpler times, and we don't realize, wow, that's how we used to do things. I mean, how to make pizza, how much, she even broke down how much each prescription drug cost. Just really fascinating stories from readers and what they do to save money. Now, she does take tightwadding to an extreme, and she knows it. But it's all in what you make it. If you only want to do a portion of that to save for maybe a trip or whatever, or, I tie all this into my junking because, again, like, I can't understand how people go to like big furniture stores, big box furniture stores, and buy all this new furniture for their house when you can go to an antique store and buy beautiful quality things for a fraction of the cost. I mean, every single thing, I've told you this in earlier videos, every single thing in my house is from a thrift store, garage sale, yard sale, or antique store. And I love it. And everything is quality. I don't have anything in my house that's junky. and it will last for many years. I mean, if something's sitting in an antique store, you know, you take a oak cabinet, it's already how many years old and it's still looking pretty good. Why would you not bring that into your home instead of going to, you know, a big box store and buying something brand new that you're going to, you know, change out in a few years? And some people are, you know, charged it so they're still paying on it, you know, even though they've sold it and or junked it or whatever. So, you know, just things to think about. So anyway, with the tightwadding, the thrifting, junking, I tie it all together. And, you know, if you're in a situation in your life where you're struggling, you can make significant changes, and you don't have to look at them like it's detrimental. Like, you know, my husband and I just kind of turned our mindset, and we have fun with it. It is a lot of fun. Like, you know, I mean, we're not well off. We still, you know, we just don't have a lot, but we get by and we can enjoy ourselves once in a while. And, you know, like yesterday I got a large bill in the mail unexpectedly. So it's like, ugh, I was kind of down about it. And, you know, my husband reminds me, you know what, we're paying on things, we're trying, we're doing our best. And, you know, we live frugally, and, you know, that's not a bad thing. So just, you know, just want to share, because I know that we're all going through rough times economically right now. These are just things in life that can help you, and just sharing. I think this is a book that could be beneficial, if nothing else, to change your mindset. Maybe try to help your teenage daughter change your mindset of always thinking they've got to have brand new this or that. I see more and more teenage kids at the thrift store anymore, and they're having a ball. You know, I remember when I was growing up and a teenager, and my sister and I were completely different sizes. She was real tiny and I was the chunky teenager, so we couldn't share clothes, and we didn't have a lot at all. And our garage sale season kind of spelled out what type of new school clothes we would have. If it was a good garage sale season, we had some nice clothes to wear to school. And, you know, but just seeing kids in thrift stores now have fun with it, oh, it just makes me happy inside to see that, because, you know, they're starting off right. They've got the right mindset. And, you know, I still like expensive things. Don't get me wrong. I have a shirt on today. Tommy Hilfiger. I do like designer things, but I'll tell you what, I know where to go garage sailing. We have a very upscale town about 45 minutes from us called Granville. It's been in Country Living magazine a few times, and they're not cheap houses around there, and they're old historic homes. And last year they had a town garage sale, and people came from all over. It was crazy. But this one garage sale, I bought 18 shirts for under $20, all name brand, all like new. And yeah, it was phenomenal. So but, you know, you can have fun with being a tightwad. You really can. It can change your life. It can make you enjoy life more. It can make you less stressed, and bring you and your husband or wife closer together, because you're not fighting about money. You're actually having fun with this, creating a plan for it. But that's just my 2 cents. I might be back on later on in the week and have some more to say. So everybody have a good rest of your day. Thanks so much for watching.